evening, Canada. My name is Victor. I am the guitar medic working out of Metcalfe in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. I moved here 6 months ago with my Canadian wife. In fact, my wife's from Metcalfe. In England, I was working as Fret Friend Guitar Workshop, many years experience. And all my work goes on YouTube, always has done, especially, well, for the last 10 years it has done anyway. So I have my first guitar in Canada. Local guy, Chris, bought me in a lovely Yamaha F310. Great guitar these, not an expensive guitar, considered to be entry level, but these punch well above their weight. They sound fantastic. So why is it in? Well, he says he's getting some fretboards, and I know why he's getting some fretboards. He's getting some fretboards because he has high frets, a couple of loose frets, and the problem being we have a sunken belly here with this end of the fretboard sinking in towards the sound hole. Now, I could fix that, but it's an expensive, it's a long-winded job, and it's going to be expensive with doing that, the fretwork, and getting it all back, and the setup, getting it all back up to spec. They're not an expensive guitar. I'd imagine brand new this would have been, back in the day, 10 years ago, $180, maybe even less than that. But these do punch well above their weight. I had one of these myself about 8 years ago. Great little guitar. Sound really nice. So what are we going to do with this? Well, we have to weigh up if it's worth spending the money on this, because he does want a pickup in there, and I've got an idea for a pickup in there. We're going to have to route out this strap pin. I do have an idea for a pickup in there anyway, so we've got to work out whether it's worth it or not, because what this guitar is going to need is, we're going to leave this, we're not going to do anything about it, we're just going to level the frets up to the 15th fret, and that's it, because he's not going to be playing up here anyway. So we're going to level up to the 15th fret. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the strings off, we're going to have a look at the state of the neck and the frets. If any need gluing down, we're going to see what's high, we're going to tap them back in. And if they don't seat properly, if they pop back out, we're going to glue them in, and we're going to level the frets. Now, price wise, I don't know what I'm going to do right now exactly. I'm going to have to weigh up the pros and cons of doing it. I'm going to keep the price as low as I can, because in the future Chris is going to want a pickup put in there. So I will be charging basically for a part fret level with a setup. So that's the best I can really do. I told him I'll get it playing superbly. A couple of things I'm going to do. The nut action is really high above the first fret. We are going to cut the nut slots. We are going to check the height at the 12th fret. I think we're about 2.25 millimeters here at the 12th fret on the E string. That for me is a little bit high, but this guitar has a little bit more relief in it than I would like. So we're going to straighten the neck up a little bit. We're going to check where we are. We are 2.25 millimeters at the 12th fret. That for me is too high. Now I've got one of these gadgets from Music Nomad. It does the non-metric and the metric. So in, I don't know what they're doing in Canada, but this is saying here it's 0.10 at the 12th fret. That seems pretty high to me. 0.10 in English would be 2.25, getting up to 2.5 millimeters. That for me is too high for an acoustic. I like to be around about 2 millimeters on an acoustic. But once we've lowered the nut slots, it's going to bring it down there anyway. So, best colour this one as well. I hope the light's not too bright. This is not the camera I'm going to be using all the time. It's just my old camera. I've got a new setup ready to be put up. But there you go, tobacco sunburst, beautiful. I don't think you really get it with the light. It's showing it a lot brighter than it actually is. But yeah, beautiful guitar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the camera. I'm going to have the strings off. We're going to look at these frets. And I will let you know a little bit more later on. Anyway, I'm Victor. I'm in Canada. I'm the guitar medic. Hit me up if you need some work doing. So here we are, guys, with the guitar on the bench. Now, something I was just removing the strings. I realised another one of my tools, my string puller, is also not here. I've had a heck of amount of tools not arrived from England. I was told by the shipping company. I had a shipping company in England who took care of everything, did all the booking and everything. And they shipped the stuff over here, and it got saved to the destination. Then the shipping company over here said they delivered everything to me. It's supposed to be containing 20 boxes. As far as I know, I was only in receipt of 18 boxes, but I signed for 20 when they came here. So I'm missing 2 boxes of stuff, and it's a considerable amount of tools, probably amounting up to well over $2,000, probably even $3,000 worth. And one of the things missing is my pin puller for the string. So what you do is, just wanted to highlight something you can do here. There's a little trick to getting these pins removed without using a puller, and that is to pull the string and push the string in to the guitar body, and the pin will come straight out. So I've removed all this, well, I'm removing all 6 strings, and again with this one, so on these ones, on the wound ones, you need to do it. Push the string in, and it'll loosen the pin enough for you to pull it out. So I'm going to put the strings aside. Now, the client didn't send me any more strings, so I'm assuming he wants me to put these back on. Now, I, as a rule, do not like putting strings back on guitars. I don't care how new they are, it's just something I don't do. In this case, I think I'm going to try and get them back on. The problem with putting them back on is the 2 unwound strings here, it's not left enough wind on there. It might be an absolute bind to try and get them to catch on there with a short amount of string at the end. If that's not the case, I've got to go to Hunt Club Road later anyway, so I will pick up a set of strings from Long and McQuaid. Now I'm just looking at this guitar. We have rusty frets here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rusty frets. We could polish that out, that's not a problem. We are going to need to remove the nut. Good thing is that nut is loose, it's not glued in, look. So to remove the nut, we are just going to slide it out. That's the nut removed. So nut and strings we'll just put aside for now. Another thing I don't have is, even I have this mat here. This is a 10mm thick yoga mat, by the way. I always use this for guitar bass, but I do like to cover this. Now in England I used to use surgical paper. You know, the kind of stuff you have on a doctor's couch. But I don't have any of that here, so I'm going to use an old towel a little bit later on. But what we're going to do is we're going to get the neck straight. Is the first thing we're going to do. Now, one thing I did bring from England, which did make it here, are my T-wrenches. I have a 5mm and a 4mm. This should be a 4mm. If I can get this in there with a truss rod, it'll make things a lot easier. It's not going to go in from that angle, so we'll have to use a standard 4mm. But anyway, what we're going to do is I'm going to take, now this is a new piece of kit. I bought this when I thought my other tools, some of my other tools hadn't arrived from England, and this is a Music Nomad. And it has a precision straight edge. It's not that precision, it's got a couple of marks down there, I didn't check that before. Then I have a 25.5 Fender side, and I have a 24 3/4 and with a 25 side, so Gibson 24 3/4 and a PRS 25. Now I'm going to go with a 25.5 and just check, see how straight this neck is. Or isn't. I don't have a backlight there, but I can see enough to see. Oh, but I'll tell you what, that is dead straight. With the strings off, that is dead straight up to the 15th, 16th fret, up to this one, 16th fret. So, let's just check again. Oh, there's a gap there that is, it's not even a hair. Now remember I just said we've got forelock because we've got sunken belly from fret 16 down, we are sunken in. We're not going to touch those, I'm going to polish the frets, I'm not going to level them. So we are level frets along there, so I'm going to take, I would normally use my GMI fret rocker, precision straight, I've been using these for years. Guy in Greece used to make me these, he doesn't do GMI anymore, he's the owner of Halon guitar parts, check those out, they are precision, top quality, top shelf guitar parts, bridges, saddles, whatever you. Check the guy out, lovely guy. I'm not going to use that today, I'm going to use one, I bought this from, another thing I bought from Music Nomad, another tool replacement. Again, 4 lengths of edge there to check 3 frets at a time. We're just going to check these frets straight away. Fret 2 is high. If we get a rock, we check 3 because if one's high we get a rock in the middle. So fret 2 is high. I'm going to mark the high frets because what I'm going to be doing with this guitar is, I sent the guy a quote, I will be charging him for a partial fret level. I should really charge for a full one, but I'm charging him for a partial fret level and for a setup, which would normally be $180. but because he's my first client in Canada, I told him I'm going to knock him 30% off. So, in fact, I'm going to knock him $55 off. I'm going to charge him $125. Which, considering my bench rate is 80 an hour, I'm not even charging him for 2 hours work. Something I'm going to do throughout February is I'm going to work for a reduced rate just to get people in. So if you want to bring your guitar in, I will knock you 25% off of my advertised prices. Consider also that I'm already 30% less bench rate. My bench rate is 30% less than Long & McQuaid. Anyway, back to the frets. So this one is high from there to there, and I'm going to take these markers as new. I'm going to mark where the fret is high, and that's 2/3 of a fret from there to there. You might see Ross down here, my trusty dog. He's a good boy, he loves being in the workshop, he just loves being near me. So this is the first time I've looked at these frets properly. That's high on that side, so already 2 frets out of 3. I knew this was going to need a fret level. That one's okay. That one's okay. Now when we get further along the fretboard, we flip this over. This is a precision straight edge, by the way, 4 straight edges on this. Well, so far so good, we're not doing too bad here. Just in the middle. We always say any more than 4 frets and it's a complete fret level. Already at 3. This. So not too bad. We do have 4 high frets, but not too bad in that area. What we're going to do is, before we start hammering stuff, that's 5. And right in the middle, 5 high frets, so we do warrant a fret level. Like I say, once we get over 4, do the lot. 5. Not going to hammer anything in just yet. That fret there, this is the one causing the problem. I mean, this is a ruddy mile high. That fret has got to be 1/3 of a millimetre high there. That's the one causing all the buzzing problems. Because we've got this fret high here, all these strings, even from right up here to here, are going to buzz. That is extraordinary. So we're going to take a lot of meat out of this one. What we're going to do is we're going to try and tap them down. We're going to glue them in, the loose ones. And then we're going to level wherever we need leveling. We'll tap them down, see if they flatten, see if they level off. We'll put some super glue in there, super fine. We'll find a super glue I can buy. I've got some on the way, it's going to arrive today from Amazon. Can you hear that rock? It's the first fret all the way along. Fret 15, all the way along, it's high. This is where you normally get the big problems, where the body meets the neck. So I think we already have 7 high frets. And these frets are in a bad way, they are rusty. I'm going to bring the guitar to the camera shortly. And that one's high as well. So right at this end we are, this fret again all the way across, so right up to fret 16, which is as far as I said I'd go. We have the full fret 16, full fret 15, half a fret 13, half a fret 12, half a fret 11. 1/3 of fret 8, 1/3 of fret 3, and 2/3 of fret 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 high frets, stupidly high. The reason you're getting problems and buzzing everywhere is because these two frets here are high, frets 15 and frets 16. If these are high, it means mostly all the strings and all the notes down here are playing with a little bit of buzz somewhere. I'd imagine once you start getting up to the higher strings, you're going to be getting fret buzz more or less everywhere up to here. Now these 4, it doesn't matter because we're not going to be playing up there. If I can remove something, I will do. I mean this one, fret 17 again, all the way across is high. That's because we have a dip from here, but it must bulge here, must be bulging up then dipping down toward the sound hole. Like I say, I'm going to be levelling up to the 17th. He's not even going to be playing up here. Once we get down this end, it doesn't matter for any high ones because they're not affecting anything because they're going down towards the sound hole, and that again. That is high. It's high in the middle. It's high on that edge. So all the problems are down here. Now I do have some new fret leveling beams. I got some from Solo Guitars. I bought a 18-inch one. Oh, it's an understring one. But I've never had an understring one, so I thought I'd give it a try anyway. And I'm going to use it just as a standard. I bought an 18-inch and a 9-inch. The first one they sent me, the 18-inch, was dodgy. It had scratches on it, so I told them about it. They sent me a brand new one. Says keep the old one. I'm going to be able to cut a nice 4 or 6-inch piece off here. So I'll have 3 different lengths. I'm going to do a 5-inch, a 9-inch, and an 18-inch. So I have 3 different ones. But anyway, back to the frets. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 high frets. So hopefully you can hear this. Set the fret rocker just so you guys can hear. Three, 4, 5, that is stupidly high. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 high frets. What I am going to do is, I don't think I've got to look for a piece of paper, I don't think I have one handy, but I'll have a look. Just a quick, there we go. In the olden days, I don't really do it that much now, but in the olden days, when I was in England, I used to write down a little map of what frets needed work and whereabouts on the frets needed work. And I'm going to show you how I did that. I have a pencil right here and a piece of paper I can use. So I would mark off 3 different areas, calling these areas. Centre I'd call 2, far area I'd call 1, near I'd call 3. So 1, 2, 3. And I'd mark down the fret number. And underneath the fret number I'd say what areas of the fret want levelling. So fret 2, area 2, area 3. And then I go next one, fret 3. I go area 1 because there's that area there needs levelling. 4, 5, 6, 7, fret 8. And this is just for my reference, area 2, just in the middle. 9, 10, 11, area 2. 12, area 2. 13, areas 1 and 2. 15, 16 and 17, all 15, 16, 17. So I put an X for all. 17, 18, 1 and 2. And that would give me a key to the bits I need to alter. So if you see here, fret number 2, areas 2 and 3, fret number 3, area 1, fret 3, area 1 is there, fret 2, areas 2 and 3 are there and there. Just gives me an idea of where I need to be levelling. But what I'm going to do before all of that is I'm going to set the guitar on a firm bass. I'm going to hammer these frets in. ever so lightly. We're just going to give them a tap just to see if we can get them to reseat properly. Chances are, well, I won't say chances are, I'll tell you straight away, these are not going to reseat properly. I can just tell because it's an old guitar and it's pretty much set in its ways. That fret there goes far too much inside the fingerboard, by the way. That's a bad fret. Could have done with replacing that one, but I don't have any fret wire here. Let me just grab you a picture of that. Wow, that's a fault with the guitar. Just noticed that. I mean, it's not going to affect. Oh wow. Fret number 13. So, guitar players, fret number 13 sits a good 2mm inside of the edge of a guitar neck. All of it was go to the edge. That is a short fret. That has passed quality control, that one. I don't have any fret wire here to replace it. If it's not been noticed now, I don't think it's going to affect anything. It's something I can look at in the future. I have a stack of fret wire also not arrived from England. Loads of stainless steel fret wire. And that's at least $200 worth. Again, I've got to make a list of the things that didn't turn up. But anyway, that's where we are with this guitar. So what I'll be doing is, I'll be taking my leveling beam. Once I've tapped these down and checked where they are for level, I'm going to level the whole lot up to 17. I'm probably going to do a little bit of work down here as well, but up to 17, because that's where you only were playing up to 15, 16, but I need to take the extra height off these three here, right up to 18. So I'm going to level the lot. When it starts to dip down, I'm still going to level them, but I'm not going to round them off or polish them too much because they're not going to be in anybody's way. Once we've got that done, once we've got the frets levelled, we are going to re-crown and polish them. By re-crowning, it means where we've flattened the tops of the frets, we're going to rebuild that crown. And once they're all crowned up, we're going to polish them. Give them a nice polish with 6-7 grits of sandpaper. I do have a Dremel. I might get some buffing compound, finish it off with some buffing compound, get my Dremel on there to bring them to a nice shine. So that is going to be done. We're then going to set the guitar up. I'm not going to touch the saddle. That saddle is as low as I dare let it go. I'm not going to alter anything there. Quite a bit of wear on that saddle, but we'll leave it completely as is. I will be reducing the slots in the nut slot to bring them down to a nice level above the first fret. That in itself will drop the action at the 12th fret, and I think it'll give an action pretty much bang on. If we get around about 2mm above the 12th fret on the bass side and 1.75mm on the treble side, I'll be very happy with that. So all in all, could this guitar benefit from something else? It could probably benefit with having a little bit of water put inside there in a pot with a damp rag and just sealing the hole just for a couple of days just to re-humidify the wood inside. It may bring this back up a little bit. I may actually suggest that, not anything I'm going to charge for. All in all for this, I'm going to be charging $125, which is $55 under what I'd normally charge. If I was to repair and re-humidify the body in there, I'd be charging another $50 on there as well, but I'm going to stick to $125, which is cheap. I'm going to suggest I go and buy some more strings. I don't like putting old strings back on guitars. It's not something I like doing. It's not something I've ever liked doing. May have done it years ago, but not in this day and age. You know, let's do things right. But anyway, there we go. That is where we are for now. That is my appraisal video. I'm just going to pull the camera up ever so slightly just so you can see my face. And so yeah, so this video, I imagine this appraisal video is about 25 minutes long. Now this appraisal video will also be part of the main video. I don't cut anything out, leave everything in. So that is what I'm doing with this guitar. I've given you a quote, I've told you what I'm going to be charging. It's quite a bit of work. A couple of things to discuss. I will let you, Chris, know about what I think about getting a new set of strings. I'll put the old ones on if you like, but I don't like doing it. I normally always insist we put new strings on a guitar. But I understand strings are expensive, and if it's just a knockabout, playabout guitar and you're not serious, in this instance I will put them back on for you. So that is it for now. Come back and I will show you how we're going to go about leveling the frets and doing the rest of the work on this guitar. So check back later. So before I move on to something else, just going to explain something. Well, the camera in particular, this is a camera I've been using for, I've used this camera for 10 years. This is a second version of the same camera. It is a Canon HG20, I believe. It's been a great camera, but this one at the moment, the charger, it's not charging all of the time, it's only charging some of the time, so I don't know if there's anything wrong with the input jack on the back of the camera or not, but alas, I was going to be phasing this camera out. Anyway, it's been a great camera to me. It does film in HD 1200, but that's as good as it goes. So I will be moving over to using either my Android phone or my iPhone 14 Pro. So I went and bought myself this gubbins a while ago, not used it yet, and I bought the microphone that comes with it, and I bought the leads I need and what have you. So this is going to change the way I video things. The problem with the charger on this phone you look at, on the camera you're looking at me on right now, is if it doesn't charge, I can't plug it into a computer. To get the files off the hard drive on this, it has to be powered up. So it's too dodgy to use now. So this is the last video I'm going to make with this this camera. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. But anyway, back to this guitar. Just wanted to. I'm going to put this on the back burner for a little while, because I've got other things to do. I just wanted to show the state of these frets up here. And I don't know if you can see them or not, but there's like kind of rust all over them here. Now, when it comes to leveling, the ones that have high spots, I'm going to glue them in. These down there, I'm going to glue them in and I'm going to clamp them. And all these up here, anyone can get a clamp round. I can only get a clamp round these two down here. The others, I'm just going to have to tap down, wick some glue under there and hope for the best. Chances are I'm going to be levelling all of this up here. Send it, maybe not, I don't know. I have just had some super glue delivered. Really thin stuff. Never used it before. I've only used the stuff I got in England before, so these are coming in quite a big pot. I didn't need to, I only needed one. One will last me a good while, I imagine. I'm going to be using some of that. I bought some of the wicking tips. These gubbins in. I could do with smaller ones than this, but anyway. So that's going to help me with that, but I'm not going to do that today. I've got other things I need to be cracking on with, so I may have a little look at this later. But for now, that is it. I just want to explain about the camera. And this is the end of this camera, like I say, and I'll be trying to set the other one up. But anyway, that's what I'm going to do with this, so I will crack on and I will see you guys later. Afternoon guys, I've preempted you coming here, and what I've done is, the frets, the high frets that I can get with the clamp or the hand press, I have clamped down just to try and get them level. Let me show you this piece of kit. Believe it or not, I bought this stuff while I was still in England. It's actually from Canada. Guitar Builder Online. I've had a few tools from this guy over the years. This is a fabulous piece of kit. Cost me twice as much as it would have cost me to buy in Canada, because I had to pay import tax and postage and what have you. But yeah, great piece of kit. Different bases for it depending on where you're working. This one's obviously for under the neck area. So I've just clamped that one in. And that one is levelled off a bit, that one has not. So the rest of them I'm going to have to hammer them in. Now, my neck holder from Stumac also didn't arrive, with the tools that didn't arrive. I keep finding new things every day that have not arrived. And I think I'm up to about $1,200 worth of tools have not arrived. And I'm really quite angry about it, because it means that one whole box is missing. It's got my EVH Eddie Van Halen D tuners missing. I've got these under things missing. I've got my multimeter missing. I have my Stumac electric caliper with the slots for frets missing. That's $200 on its own. So I'm going to contact the company, see what I can do. They says, look, you signed for everything. I said, well, yeah, but I signed for it unchecked. But anyway, cross that bridge when we come to it. So let's see how we're going to support this underneath. There's nothing really I've got to go under there. Now I do have certain things from my I do have a fret press from GMC in Wales in the United Kingdom, and you probably don't know what I'm talking about when I mention that. It's a great piece of kit, and that is for pressing frets in, but I'm not going to use that. So that's nice and firm there. I don't need any support under it because I'm hammering above the body. I can just get under here. Let's see if we can get something underneath there. How much room have we got to play with? About 1.5 centimetres. I think this will just about do it. It's always stuff you can use. So that is well supported under there, and I'm going to grab my, if I can find it, fretting hammer. I've seen it today, that's why I know it's over here. One fretting hammer, nylon head, brass head, and we are nicely supported underneath the heel of the guitar there, and I'm just going to knock these in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let them settle. We'll give them a little while to settle and we'll check the level again. But the thing is, this is where I'm going to level now. I'm just going to level as they are. So we're going to go and check down this end of the deck at these ones, because I hammered these in earlier. Still got height there. That one is levelled off. So two up here were high, they have now levelled off. That one's still high. That was levelled, by the way. They've levelled off somewhat. This one is as high as a kite still, fret 13 I think we said. It is mentally high. I'm going to hit that one. I'm going to hit it with a file before I run this one here. This one is number 15, that's really high. 16, yeah, 16 is quite terrible. 17, they're really high at this end. 18, so these guys at this end want a lot of work. There's rust on these up here. We'll get rid of that. So there's no point in wicking any glue in. These frets are where they are. So I'm going to do a fret level as everything is. Quite happy where all that is set. A bit miffed that my Stumac neck holder is not here. I had a third party one as well, that's also not here. So more tools I've got to go and order. I'm going to be levelling on this bench without clamping anything in. I could do it on my Stumac jig, but if I need to hammer anything in, it's going to make everything awkward. So I think I'm going to level here. Just going to check that we have got the neck as straight as we possibly can have it. Again. It's not a 25.5, is it? Scale? It is. It must be this. It's 24 3/4 scale length. That neck is straight as a die, bar this dip, and it's a very, very shallow dip. It is not, well, I don't know. It's about 1 millimetre at the end, but it is not too bad. It's on the last 4 frets. So we have a very straight neck there. That is fine for fret levelling. So that is what I'm going to be doing now. I do need this clamping, so I may stick a clamp, maybe get an F clamp and just nip this at this end, just so I've got it nice and sturdy. I could even put a clamp at that end also, keep it nice and straight for levelling the frets. Fret leveler I'm going to be using is, you've not seen it yet, I shall go and get it out. This is the new one. So when I thought my fret levelers had not arrived from England, I went and bought some replacements, and I went to Solo Guitars and had a look at their stuff, and I ordered one of these 18-inch ones, and the one they sent me was awful, it had scratches in it, and I told them, I said, we really are very sorry, that's not been checked properly, we'll send you another one, keep the other one if you can make any use of it, or throw it away. But anyway, so it's an understring. I went and got one of the understring ones. Now, I've not been a big fan of understring fret levelers over the years, but I thought, you know what, being as I can use it as a normal fret leveler anyway, I'm going to go and get one. So I went and got one. So there you go. Problem with this is my other fret level is 1 inch wide. This is about 3/4 of an inch. And the strips of sandpaper I've got are 1 inch wide, so I may have to actually scrap that idea of using this, or go and order some more sticky sandpaper if it will fit this. But this is how we're going to be doing it. I wanted to use a radius beam, but I'm not going to do that, it's too long-winded. So great piece of kit, lovely smooth surface. Solo guitars, I don't know what I paid for this, $80, $85. It's a lot cheaper than the StreamAc ones. So I've got that one to use if I wish. I may have to go and use my standard, my English one, because it is 1 inch wide, and I've got 1 inch masking tape, and I've got 1 inch emery sandpaper to stick on there, which will make things just a lot easier. So anyway, that's where I am with that. I can't stop. I'm cooking dinner tonight. It's my turn to cook dinner. So I've got dinner on the go. I made a lovely sausage casserole today with mashed potatoes and a side salad. And let me tell you, it tastes divine. But anyway, for now, I've explained what we're doing with the frets. There's no point in wicking glue in there. It's not going to alter anything. It's just going to make a mess. So for now, that is it. Once I'm set up for levelling, which is probably going to be tomorrow, I will cut you back in and we'll crack on and get this levelling and the recrowning and everything done. Catch you later, guys. I changed my mind about the neck jig, and it is the first guitar on the new StreamAc neck jig. Now those of you that know me know that I once had a StreamAc neck jig in England, but before I had the StreamAc version I built my own from some plans I found by Vincent. And it was that good. I shared the plans and where I bought all the parts from on the internet, and everyone, or well, not everyone, but loads of people used those plans and made their own versions of this. And when I bought the original StreamAc one back in England, the same one, aluminium one, I used it and I went back to using the one I'd made. And I sold the StreamAc one, but since I've been here, rather than make one myself, I thought, you know what, I'll just go and get the StreamAc. So here it is today. The guitar is on there. The neck is dead straight and I'm ready to level the frets. Now I'm not going to do it tonight because I had to run some other errands today. So the neck is on there, it is dead straight. I've got it all clamped up and that's perfect. So that is ready for levelling tomorrow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you back in tomorrow. I will be using my original fret levelling beam, the one I got from Crimson Guitars when I lived in England. Beautiful piece of kit this, and I'll have some 240 on there and 400 grit on the other side, and we'll take the main off with a 240, smooth it off with a 400, and then we'll crack on to the next part of the process. But tomorrow I'll be bringing you back in, we'll get the fret leveling done, and we will take it from there. But yeah, first guitar in the workshop, first time I've used the StreamAc neck jig in the workshop, so it's all systems go Canada. How good is that? Good evening, guitar players. The guitar has been sat on the jig for 24 hours. I've got an automatic heater down here that keeps the temperature constant. We have had no movement at all on the dials in 24 hours. That says to me that the neck is settled, it is dead straight. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go across the frets that are high again. I'm going to mark where the frets are high. I'm going to ignore the key map I made earlier for now. So look at number 4 now, it's level. It wasn't level initially. That was just clamping it in and sent that back straight or back to level. Now you may hear some noise. I live in a household where there are 4 adults. There's my wife and myself and my wife's parents. I'm down in the basement area. And we may hear some noise from upstairs because everyone's just had dinner. It's quite bustling upstairs. We like to spend time together. So if you do hear any other unwarranted noise, that's what it is. And I can only apologise for that. But anyway, so far so good with this. I'm going to hit the frets with a file before I hit the frets with a that one's even level there. That's great news. I hit them with a file before I hit them with the fret leveling beam. I've got a fabulous file I bought way back in England a few years ago from a guy called Chris Allsop. I can't remember the name of his shop, but he hand makes, or he used to hand make, guitar tools, specifically diamond files, leveling files, precision level with diamond coating. They're really, really good. I've got one, I'll show it you in a little while because you're going to see it. I'm going to be using it on here. So fortunately, I have all the tools I need. I've been buying tools for many years, and I've learned one thing I've learned over the years is don't buy the best you can afford. Save up and buy the best there is. There's no good buying cheap tools. Learn the hard way. Just take it from me. Don't go on Amazon and buy any of that cheap rubbish because it's no good. So most of my tools are Stumac. People say Stumac's expensive. Stumac is not expensive. Don't forget, when you buy a Stumac tool, you get a lifetime guarantee with it. It means if it wears out, if it breaks, or even if it wears out, they will replace it free of charge. There's a thing you just send back the old one. I don't even think they hold you to sending it back anymore. So you get a tool for life. I mean, come on, tool for life. I used to think they were expensive. When I bought my first Z file, or Z file as we call it in England, which is a fret crowning file, I think it cost me, when all said and done, with import tax and shipping, it cost me about 125 English pounds, which, to put into perspective, it's about 240 Canadian. And that was a while ago. But it's a file for life. I don't know why I paid that much. I must have paid full price. It was years ago. They're not even that expensive now. But anyway, don't buy the best you can afford. Buy the best there is. Two places I've been using, or another place I've been using since I moved to Canada, is Solo Guitars. Now, everything I've had from there so far has been really good. I bought some Music Nomad stuff. I'm supposed to be pretty good. That is a cheaper option. So you could always try Music Nomad. They have a good reputation. Solo Guitars for me, I've stepped up to the plate and been brilliant. I did buy one tool for them and it was substandard and wasn't up to spec, and they just sent me out a replacement straight away, which is perfect, by the way. He says keep the old one, if you can make use of it fine, if not just get rid of it. And I can make use, it's an 18-inch leveling beam, I can make use of at least 9 inches of it, so I'm going to cut it down and make myself a 4 or 5 inch leveling beam. But anyway, back to this. So all the frets that really need work now are all at this end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up there, and one down here, 8. So that's pretty good. I've hammered them all in. These ones that were high are squeezed in as well. So I'm going to hit these with a file. Now, like I always say, guys and girls, these don't go out as instructional videos. These go out just as videos for me and for the client. But they are instructional. A lot of people say they're so instructional. You're so good at what you do, and I know I'm good at what I do. But I don't put them out as instructional because that way there's no comeback on me. But anyway, here's this file I told you about. It's a 300 grit diamond file. It's precision level. And look at it, it's a great piece of kit. This, and a fantastic holder there as well. Look at that. Just wonderful. Made by Chris also. I think I paid 25 English pounds for this. That's about 45, well with tax say 50. It's about 50 of your Canadian dollars for a tool as good as this. But anyway, what this does is, this will remove material really quickly. And what I do is I just spot level. Once this file moves more smoothly across this fret, it'll move more smoothly across all of them. So the file will tell you when the fret is level. So just gently following the radius. I don't have a brush to hand, I ought to have. what I'll do is just go and check every now and again. There you go, and that fret is now level. So we've levelled the height from that fret, but the thing is we've flattened it. We're going to come to recrowning these frets a little bit later on. So that's now level, so I'm going to go up the whole neck and check again. Just notice here, this fret, but I told you, is ludicrously high because it's sprung out of its slot. That needs to be glued in. Now it's going to be quite problematical because it's right on the heel and I don't have a clamp wide enough to press that down. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to super glue this in, and I'm going to have to hold it down and hope the glue sticks. So we're going to do that right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place some tape either side of the guitar just in case, because the glue has a tendency to just run off. Now the only tape I have is this masking tape I just bought. All of my masking tapes didn't arrive from England either. I do have a scissor somewhere. There you go. So if the glue does run, it'll run hopefully on the tape. So what I'm going to have to do with this is, oh hang on, I may stick an F clamp on there. That might be an idea. That may be an idea. So this is the one. This one right here. So the thing about my videos is I don't edit anything. These are live videos. Right, I'm going to have to F clamp that in. So might just get away with it. See if I can grab, see if I've got anything like a business card or a piece of card under there, because I'm going to pop a clamp under there. Not ideal, but I don't really have a choice. Just so you all know, guys, I hate super glue with a passion. With a passion you would not believe. So I've got this stuff, big bottle. Oh, that's already open. Okay. Let me put one of these on there. I've already got it with my fingers. I've not even squeezed anything. That's just off the fumes. So we've that on there. These for me are still too big. These nozzles. Okay, let's see where we are now. If I spill anything on the fingerboard, I don't care because I can scrape that off later. That's not a problem. Let me grab a small F clamp. I do have some small F clamps actually. Let's do a test run. Just see if I can get a clamp on the fret. I think I'll be okay. You know what, guys, that is going to work absolutely fine. Look at that. So we are going to get a good clamp on there. So we are going to wick in some super glue. Now, hopefully it will wick in and go to the right place, because normally you want the guitar propped up here. This should wick underneath. Oh, that's right. There's plenty of glue in there. Let's look at that. Okay, there's plenty of glue there. This might just work. I think this will work. That's Ross the dog. You've met Ross the dog before. Okay, let's just. Okay, we're going to glue that in, and that's it. We're just going to wait. I have no option. So we are early afternoon. Been across quite a few of the frets with my leveling file. Just going to go across the frets and check where we are with them. little bit high there. It's a very tiny bit. Got a little scooch. Following the radius and see where we are. Still a scooch high. So, all about getting the playing surface level. Your playing surface is not the wood, it's the frets. That determines what note is being played. So people incorrectly think your playing surface is a fretboard. That is your background, yeah. But your playing surface is actually a fret, so it's the frets that need to be level. Your fingerboard can be slightly skewy up and down along its length, but as long as the frets are level, you're going to be fine. A little high there still, that's no surprise, that's the one we've glued in. So we're going to correct this one first. And we're going to move a mountain of material off this one. Because that's the one that's causing all the problems. If this fret is high, all of these down here, when you're playing strings up here on the first and second string, they're going to buzz out because of this high fret. So that's the one that's causing all of the problems. Still high, but we are getting there. I do have one of those Stumac fret kissers. I've never used it. Let's have a look at it. That's for particularly doing one fret now. Not exactly sure where I put it. There you go. I thought it might be here. And there it is. I've never used this, but I bought it when it was on sale. This is a Stumac fret kisser, and it's got a rough area where there's the sandpaper type diamond coating, and then smooth areas. And this should do just one fret. So let's have a look, see where we are. That seems to be working a little bit. Maybe I should go a little bit longer. Okay, maybe I need to use this one. Okay. It's definitely working on it there. Like I was saying, it's level, so let's give this a scooch. When I first started doing this, it's quite scary to be removing so much material from one fret, but you never have anything to be scared of because you were just making it right. So back with the fret rocker. Still a scooch high. Well, fret kisser works really quite well, better than I thought it would. So that is now level. Also note our slightly overlap, because the neck is, or the fretboard is wider there than it is there, so we follow the radius all the way down the length. So when you get to this end, you're overlapping to match the width of the radius. If you did it that way, you'd be becoming a compound radius. You've got to stay with the radius, so you do overlap at these edges. And this is feeling pretty nice. I think we're more or less there with the frets. Now, one thing I've noticed I don't have here, again, things that didn't turn up from England. My steel wool didn't turn up. I'm going to have to nip out to Canadian Tire in a minute and grab some steel wool, or probably a little bit later. I need to get this one done for tea time tomorrow. Keep noticing things that didn't turn up. When I go to get them, or I think I need this part or I need this tool, and it's not there. So far I'm down at least $1,000 worth of tools from England that didn't turn up or didn't show up. It's quite annoying really, because I've got to go and buy them all again. Well, I bought most of them again, but anyway, back to where we are. Checking the frets. We did say we're only going up to 15, and all the frets up to 15 are now level. So we have a good playing surface. They start to dip from 16 down, but that one's still high. 16 is high. We're still going to bring them level. 17 is high. So we've got a couple of high ones. So what we're going to do is I'm going to mark off. Let's check these again. 16. This is 15. 15 is perfect. 16 is high. $17 is quite high. So 16 and 17 still need to remove some meat from those. So we're going to scoot across the top with the pen. I know my video is still not as professional as it ought to be, guys. I'm in Canada now. These videos will get better. This camera is going to be retired. I'm going to get my either my Android or my iPhone set up on the gimbal I've bought very, very soon. So I'm concentrating on 16, 17 and these frets down here at the moment. I'm going to mark up fret 15 as well, because once I start removing the pen from 15, I know 16 and 17 are level. We're down to the level we need. So there are a couple of things we've got to work around on this guitar, which I'll mention shortly. Workarounds are, we have a dip from fret 15 down right to the end. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We are dipping down toward the sound hole. So we're just going to leave that as natural fall away. We're still going to level the frets. We're still going to recrown and polish them. So I would say that we have all of these frets level now. But are they all level with each other? We don't know. But what I'm going to do is we're going to go across with the leveling beam. Now I decided not to go with my solo guitars leveling beams, the new ones, because they're like 19-20mm wide. I'm going with my Crimson guitars. Crimson guitars from England, perfectly level surfaces. I'm going to go with 240 grit on one side, 400 grit on the other. We're going to take the meat off or level them down with a 240, smooth them off with the 400, and that will leave us a nice level finish. Great piece of kit this. I bought this over from England. This made it here. This is one of my favourite tools. I need to get some 1-inch sandpaper on there. I do have some emery board, 1-inch wide. I have 240 and 400 grit, but I'm not going to stick it straight to here. We're going to put on masking tape first, then some double-sided sticky tape, and then the sandpaper. That way, when we peel it off, we're only peeling off masking tape. Masking tape or painter's tape is a lot easier to peel off than double-sided sticky tape. So I'll show you a bit more of that in a short while. So let's check the frets one more time, starting from this end. And I'm going to use my other fret rocker. I'm going to use my GMI. I mentioned this before, made by a Greek guy, Harris in Greece. He now is the owner of Halon Tools. You want to check him out, or Halon Guitar Parts, sorry. But he used to make these, and I sold him thousands of these by recommending them. It's the most level fret rocker I've got, and the thing about this one, it has 4, 2, 3, 4 different lengths. So when you come further along, you just turn it over, so you're always only doing 3 frets. I trust this tool implicitly. It's one of the best tools I've ever had. It's never let me down, and I know it's perfectly level. It just feels so familiar in my hands. It's the first time I've used it since I left England. What a great piece of kit this is. You can't get them anymore. I have 2 of them, and I will always keep them. So other tools that didn't come from England, my neck rest didn't come from England. This, I've had to re-buy this. This didn't arrive from England. I've had to go buy another one. These are $70, $80, $90, folks. I've had to go buy another one of those. I've had to go and buy another caliper, digital caliper from Solo Guitars. Cost me 120 bucks. $200 from Stumac. My Stumac one, it didn't arrive here. My multimeter didn't arrive here. So I've had to go and buy all this stuff. That one's still high right there, just on that edge. That's not moving down, it's just a high fret. We're going to hit that with a fret kisser as well. And I'll find out what have I done with it here. Yeah, that didn't take long, did it? Okay, let's go again. And that's fine now. That was a little bit high, that's still a little bit high. I love this job, by the way. Hopefully I can build up a good client base while I'm out here in Metcalfe, and you know, I used to do this full time, and I did have the clients in England. It's just I got bored because I was working from home all the time, so I was home 24/7 and I needed to get out of the house, so I went and got a job at Royal Mail. And same as here, I started work at FedEx. I love working at FedEx, and long may that continue. Okay, that's still showing a little bit high there. It is not springing out, so it is not a loose fret. You have to persevere with these and trust your instincts and keep going. I wish I had some spare fret wire, because I would replace this one if I had. My fret wire, again, didn't turn up from England. Right, I'm going to hit that with a spot leveling file because it's been stubborn. Should I grab my... maybe in this box down here. so it isn't in there. Right, okay, scrub that. Let me do it. I'm going to do it with the diamond file. And now we're level. That one's high. Sometimes you just got spot level. Still a little high. 16. I've heard some bad stories about this fret kisser, but so far so good for me. This seems to be working okay. I've certainly flattened some of these frets. That one's still high, 17. Won't make a lot of difference because we're not going to be using these frets. We're only going to be playing up to about 14 anyway. But I like to do things properly, so check from 16. 17 is a little bit high. 18 is fine. 19 is fine. So we're saying these frets are level along the whole length of the guitar. We've got quite a lot of work to do at this end, but we're not going to get any fret buzz anymore. 15, 16, 17, just check 17 again. Let's see, it's really, really high. Is it glued in nice or is it popping out? No, it's glued in fine. So we are going to hit it with the fret kisser. There you go, we have it nice and level now. A little bit of height there. Let's fret kiss this one. I've heard good and bad about this fret kisser. Now my friend in England, the original Leicestershire luthier, Nigel Roberts, made one of these, made his own version of one of these. It's probably very, very good. Right, so those frets are now level. We're going to give this a little wipe over. ready for re-crowning these now. I'd normally tape up the fingerboard. I think I'm going to tape up the fingerboard. But what I need to do first is I need to remove this extra super glue from here where we glued that fret in last night, and it's easy. Just take a scraper, like something that can scrape like so. Give the fingerboard a scrape, right? And that is, all the excess glue is now gone. You wouldn't even know that had been glued in. So there we go, guys, and no mess either. We've got no spillage of super glue, which is always good. And the excess tape from there and there. And from the heel, the job well done. So we are now ready to level the frets proper. I've got to go and set up my fret leveling tool or my fret leveling beam. It'll take me a short while. I'd love to film me doing it, but it means moving this off the bench. Now this piece of kit, this jig does not belong on the bench, it's got its own stand. But I need to just set the reef, I need to fit the base yet, so I'm not using that at the moment. So right guys, I hope you get a good idea of how I work in this shop. I'm a very simple guy, it's very simple work. I'm not too bothered about my videos. They are not premium quality videos, I do know that. I will endeavour to make them better in the future when I update my camera. But anyway, we are going to get the levelling beam sorted out and we're going to level these frets. First we're going to move these tools all out of the way because we've got a few things in the way here that don't need to be here. So give me a few minutes guys and I will be back. So I've made up my levelling beam. I have 240 grit on top, 400 grit on the base, and I need to mark up the frets. Very, very easy to level frets. Once the pen has gone from the tops of the frets should be level. I mean, 99.9 times out of 100 they are. Or I should say 999 times out of 1,000 they are. So I'm going to mark the tops of the frets. You see, I've not taped the fingerboard up. Again, my tape has not arrived from England. There's at least one box missing, possibly two from my shipment. And I didn't know until things were missing until I unpacked my boxes, which has been in the last 2 weeks. Now, the shipment company says, yeah, but you signed for everything received. I says, I signed for everything received but unchecked. I made sure I wrote unchecked on it. So they're trying to say I've got no comeback. Well, if that's the case, I will sue the company if I don't get any recompense from here. But anyway, that aside, let's crack on. 400 grit, 240. Or is it the way around? Balls. I could peel it back and have a look. This is 240. 240 on top, makes sense. First one I'm going to use, 240 on top. So, really easy. Follow the width of the neck when it comes to radius. So when I get to this side, I should be about 3 or 4 mil over the edge. Same as this side. And we're just going to nice and gentle. Going to start at this edge. Now don't forget we've got the fall away from fret 16, so this is not going to remove the pen from this end. But as long as it goes up to fret 15, 16, I'll be fine. I'll be happy. Nice and steady. You don't have to go gung-ho at this. Let the sandpaper do the work. Well, this is emery board. I'm not pressing down. If I'm pressing down, I'm pressing down very lightly. All the pen is removed from all of the frets right up to fret 16, which is exactly what I wanted. So those frets are level. I'm now going to slightly angle it towards this end and just level these frets. So it might lift a little bit at this end. You might hear a bit of lifting. Don't worry about that, because we're doing the fall away here. So I am kind of pressing downward toward the sound hole, just to make sure I get these frets sanded. done. Those frets are all level and sanded. We have no pen on the top of the frets, so we're going to repeat the process and we're going to go over with a 400 grit. These frets are now leveled. Like I say, it's not a difficult job, it doesn't take long. Oh, my football team are winning, I missed the goal. I've got Sky Sports on, I'm a Leeds United supporter. We're 1-0 up and I missed the goal, but that's great. Back to the job. Be professional, Victor. So guys, what I need you lot to do is don't just flick through these videos and don't just go away again. I need you to subscribe, and if you don't subscribe, but I really need you to subscribe because I've already any clients here, I need you to subscribe. I need you to thumb up my videos. I need you to go on some more videos, give them a thumbs up, and I especially need you to interact. I need you to comment. If you don't comment and thumb me up, my videos don't get recommended. If my videos don't get recommended, I don't find new clients. If I don't find new clients, I don't have a business. If I don't have a business, I have to close down and go and get a regular job. Now, I do have a regular job at FedEx, but I could apply to be a courier and work daytime shifts and work all day, 7 till 5, and that way I won't have time to do guitars. I don't want to quit doing guitars. Guys, I need you to interact. I need you to comment, I need you to thumb me up, and I need you to subscribe. There's no point you being here if you're not going to thumb me up or give me comments. That's all I've got to say about it. I won't keep saying this, I'll reiterate it, but guys, I love you. You help me. You are my bread and butter. You help me get work, and I need the work. So help me out, guys. You know, back to where we are. 400 grit on the bass. We've done the 240 grit. This will last about 3 or 4 months, by the way. So the 240 grit on the bass. Was that on the other side? I don't know, I forgot. That's smoothing off nicely. And that's it, guys. We are frets levelled and smoothed over. Beautiful. So that's the frets levelled. Really easy here, guys. Like I say, it doesn't take long to level. It's the crowning and the polishing that takes the time. Looking nice. This guitar is going to play fantastically when I've done with it. We do we have a little high spot? I thought I saw a high spot. No, I'm seeing things. So that's it. So let's go with the fret rocker. 2-0 Leeds, missed the other goal. Done great here. But I'm sticking to the task in question. I'm doing my job. Frets are level, guys. So I will be taping up to crown the frets. I have 1 width of tape, 1 inch, so I'm going to have to cut it thinner to go between these frets here. So I was going to buy some more tape off of Amazon. But these frets, guys, we are level along the whole length of the neck, right up to 17. Then we've got some fall away down here, which we knew about. I've also got to go and buy some, I'm going to buy it tomorrow. Some steel wool. I'll get it on the way back from work. I should finish work at midday tomorrow. These frets are level, guys, so really easily done. Didn't take too long. One day I'll show you how I fix this up ready for leveling. But take my word for it, everything's all done nice. So they're beautiful. That is it for now. I'm going to get this all taped up and we're going to move on to crowning these frets. Okay, guys, taped up the fingerboard. Got black ink on the top of the frets. And I'm not going to mess about with this. I'm not going to use my Z file. I'm going to use one of my StuMac crowning files. Now this is the narrow medium version. Hardly use this. It has got a concave or a crown shaped filing system here. It is diamond. It's a diamond file, and this will crown your frets for you. So where the frets are flat on the top, we're going to put that crown back in, going this way. make sure I get the right side. I want the medium side, which is this side. And this this file will do all the work. And there you go, nice thin black line down the centre. That one is done. So that's how easy it is. When you're in a rush, this is a great file to use. It really, really works quickly. It files on the forward stroke and on the backward stroke. What we like to do is like to give this a wipe every couple of frets. So just to show you there, look. So that's it. I'm going to crack on and get this done. Free done in double quick time. It's really, really quick to get this done. So polishing takes time. Also, when I'm over the body, I cannot use this file because I can't get the angle enough. But what I'll do is I'll use this one. This, look at the shape of this. It's fantastic. I can't remember the name of the company I got this off. I've heard it years. Again, it's a diamond file. Great, great piece of kit. And when it comes to over the body, you cannot get a better file. Making sure I'm using the right side, and it is this side. And look at this, look how easy this is. Over the body. What could be easier than that? Nothing. I wish it was a little bit thinner. It's quite a wide thing on there. I could hit it with this. Just to finish it off, so I can just hold it gently there, and which is what exactly what I'm going to do. And when I'm coming this side, I'll just turn the file the other way, and it'll just give me that beautiful crown. Now remember, I don't have any steel wool, so I can't polish these frets tonight, so I'm going to have to do the polishing tomorrow after work, after my shift at FedEx. But this is it. I'm going to crack on, get these crowned tonight, leave it for the polishing tomorrow, and then a little bit we're going to put the nut on, cut the slots in the nut, get some strings on, get it set up, and this guitar will be good to go. So I've flipped the jig around, so I'm able to work on this side of the frets because I had to be able to get over the body, and I'm using the regular file that I was using before. And obviously I can't do it from this side, so I can only do the far side. I've already done this side when it was flipped round. I flipped it round again, and I'm just going to finish off these frets here. So I'm working from just across the centre and down this side. You see, I can dig in and get to that side. Clean. And that is all of the frets recrowned. So it's getting a bit late now. I spent too much time watching soccer, as you lot call it here, football. To me, I watched Leeds United beat Nottingham Forest 3-1. And me being a Leeds United supporter, and I'm actually from Nottingham, so people are surprised I'm not a Nottingham Forest fan, but I'm not. Most of my family are, but not me. But anyway, that is the frets recrowned, so I need to polish those tomorrow. I will have some sandpaper for polishing knocking about somewhere. I thought it was up here, but it may not be. Where are we? I will have a look for that tomorrow morning, well tomorrow afternoon when I get back from my shift at FedEx. We'll crack on, we'll get these polished, and and get this guitar finished tomorrow. Just a quick one, guys. I am going to polish the frets the old-fashioned way, using 7 different grits of paper from 400 through to 2000. So you've got 400, 600, 800, 1000, 1200, 1500 and 2000 grits. 400 I mainly use just for softening the edges of the frets. If there's anything sticking out, just give a wipe over with this really quick. And they are a little bit sharp in places. And same with this side. Just gently. So that's that, and I'll just start the frets off with this. Notice I wear a nitrile glove. I always keep my 2 fingers covered because that's what I'm polishing with, and I'm just going to go across the top with this just to get it started off, remove the pen. It's going to take me a good while to go through all of these grits, so I'm going to crack on and get it all done. Once it's all finished, I will buff it off with, I use a buffing wheel on my Dremel, I think, because I don't have any steel wool. Which is rare for me, but it never arrived from England, as in a lot of other things didn't arrive from England, but that's another story for another day. So I'm going to crack on, get this done. I'll catch up with you guys a little bit later on this afternoon. So we are all done with these frets, and you guys don't get to see how wonderfully polished they are because of the light in this room, but they are wonderful. Let's see if I can just show you on my phone how wonderful those frets are. They are highly polished up to 2000 grit. I finished off with some micro mesh pads that I got from Stumac. That's my dog just running in, by the way. He's a little bit excited. Yes, some micro mesh pads, which are fantastic. Come up absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to peel off the tape. I'm going to treat the fingerboard with some mineral oil. Give it a nice good clean. We're going to get the nut back on there, and we're going to get the nut cut and what have you. Something else I've done off camera as well. I've not charged for this. And it wasn't in my remit to do this. I've reshaped the bridge or the saddle because it was flat across the top, and I've given it it's about a 20-inch radius on there now, which will be better than it was. I don't have enough meat left on there to radius it to 14 like it should. What I'm going to do is I'm going to raise it a little bit higher, but I'm going to place a shim slightly underneath. I have some maple shims, 1/2 mil thick, so I'm going to cut the piece. Well, it's maple veneer. And I'm going to cut a piece off, and I'm going to make a little shim under there. We're going to put that on there, and that's a little freebie I've done. I'd normally charge for doing this work, but anyway, that's it for now. I'm going to go get me dinner, and I'm going to finish this one off tomorrow. Okay, so I had my camera set wrong, so when I thought I was videoing, I wasn't, and when I thought I wasn't videoing, I was, so that's messed up the last part of the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to recap on what I've just done. And I've covered the fingerboard and here and the whole guitar actually with a little bit of virgin olive oil, letting virgin olive oil soak in on the fretboard. I've also done the bridge with that, and I used the excess I had just to clean the guitar, and I've buffed it all off and wiped it all off with a dry cloth, so the oil is now off. That's because I had no cleaning fluid here. And I'm going to take another piece of kitchen paper and wipe off all the excess oil. And in the meantime I was waiting for an Amazon delivery, and Amazon have just been. They've delivered a very interesting pack, or 2 packs for me. One not that interesting, it's just a pack of nitrile gloves that I should be using right now. But the other one, I've not opened the box yet, and that has in it, it has a Music Nomad guitar cleaning kit. So I'm going to open that in a second, show you what's in there. We're going to use it to finish off this guitar. So bear with me a second. So also off camera, I covered this with oil. Like so, I'm going to wipe it all off now because it's had a good 15-20 minutes on there, and this will nourish the wood and it'll darken it somewhat. It'll make it look really nice. The frets are not highly polished, as I showed. 8 different grits of paper, 7 different grits of paper, sorry, 400 through 2000. So I do apologise, my father-in-law is upstairs with the dog while I'm videoing, so I'm just going to go upstairs, shut the door, and I'll be back in a second. So where was I? So yes, the steel wool I've just used to polish the frets, we put in a airtight whatever. I just happen to have a bag right there because I do have a fire down here, a log burner. My log burner, it's a fake log burner, it's a gas fire, but you know, But that will stop us. I've had some of this Ignite in my workshop before, and it nearly set the whole workshop ablaze, and that was just using, don't know what I was using, but stay safe guys, keep that away from naked flame or any kind of flame. So the frets of polish for fingerboard is done. I need to clean the headboard of the headstock and such like, but first we're gonna put the knot on, we're gonna glue it in. I don't need to be on the jig anymore, so I'm going to remove the guitar from the jig in a moment. It looks fabulous. I've just wiped everything clean, but I was going to show you what is in the box. Now, I've not opened the box myself, it's just arrived, it's Amazon. And again, I've had to replace stuff from England that didn't arrive for whatever reason. The company I used have lost 2 boxes. They're saying they've not lost anything because I signed for everything. I said, well, I signed it unsigned because your delivery guy was about 80 years old. He was incapable of emptying the boxes at the time of night he arrived. So I'm going to fight that. They owe me, so far, I'm down at least $2,000 worth of tools. So I've had to go and buy this piece of kit. Now this is exactly the same one I had in England, and these are glass lenses. This at StewMac will cost you $140, $150. This has cost me, I'm not sure what it's cost me, about $35. I had exactly the same one in England. It is glass lenses, 4 different lenses, fabulous piece of kit, just every bit as good as a StewMac one. I've got that really cheap, so I've managed to replace that. But the nitrile gloves have arrived. I love these things, use these all the time, normally. And this little knackered premium guitar care system kit from Music Nomad. Never used this stuff before, so I'm giving this stuff a try. It has got, what is it? It's got Pro Strength guitar polish. It's got F1 oil, cleans and conditions, protects. That's for fingerboard, I imagine. And what I don't know, I can't see the other one. Fretboard 1 oil. F1 gives wood its life back. So I should have used that instead, but I'm not going to. I've used the thing on there instead of that olive oil. So I've got that little thing to try out. I've got other stuff on the way. I've got some fabulous new tools on the way, but money I should have spent. But anyway, I digress. I'm veering away from the topic of this guitar. So the guitar is looking fabulous. I need to get the nut out of the back, out of the case. We need to glue the nut back on. We're going to get some strings on. We're going to shim this saddle. We're going to check the height of the strings. We're going to see where we need to alter the size of the shim underneath. I think the shim should be just fine on its own, but we will see. So I'm ready to take this off the jig. We're going to get it set up. We're going to get some strings on there. We're going to put some new strings on there. We've got the new saddle. We're going to shim that. We're going to cut the nut slots. We're going to get everything all tickety-boo, get the strings on, get it all tuned up, and get it ready to go back to its owner. So, piece of veneer. I've already cut some pieces, but they're not quite right, so I'm going to try and cut another piece to the correct width. We are looking for a piece about 3mm, and not tapering off at the end like the others have been. I think this is pretty much perfect. So we are going to have a look at this one. Seems pretty good. I'm just going to slightly taper at the end. Hopefully that will be just about right. So we are a Nat's Nadger, as we sometimes say in England, too long. And Nat's Nadger is, well, you can guess what it is. You're going to get a lot of English with me, because I'm from England, so you're going to, if you want to know what something means, you're going to have to ask me, aren't you? So let's whiz this in there. I'll just lay this on the base. Well, that, my friends, looks pretty much perfect. So we shall take the saddle to the lower side and just wedge that in like so, and there you go, and that should be perfect. So that is wonderful. So you can see there, is it springing back? It may be springing back a little. If it's springing back a little, we're going to have to remove that shim and just ever so slightly, yeah, it's a little bit too wide. now in England I had fantastic tools for getting this out, but here in Canada a lot of my stuff is still missing. Okay, didn't do very well there. I think that will be fine as it is, but let me try and grab something to pull it out. I know I have got something perfect right here. Just need to take a little bit, I don't know, that looks pretty much laid in there to me. Let's give it a go with a feeler gauge and feel how it is. No, that's imperfect, that's fine. That is not swinging back. That, my friends, it's wonderful. Okay, maybe the base of this isn't dead straight. Should be. Okay, do this part high. I'm thinking of going there, like so. That looks wonderful. So, something else I've got to do is move the guitar ever so slightly so it's all in the picture. There you go. It's all in the frame. Super glue. I hate this stuff with a passion. This is not supposed to clag up. It is the nut. I had the nut not 2 seconds ago, and now I don't know where it is. It makes me look very disorganised. And the stuff I had in my hand I can now not find. Okay, it's easy to say bear with me, but it makes me look very unprofessional. The nuts right there, what am I thinking? It's on the guitar. I'm looking for something that I don't need to look for. So what I like to do is just place a dob there and then just a dob underneath if the glue will let me. Oh, but look at that. That's it. Don't need any more than that. Some people gunk these things right up. I have no idea why. I'm going to grab something out of the bin just to get rid of the excess. Like I say, this stuff is just horrible. I do like to buy the tubes that there's no mess. Get that back in there, just off the fumes on that. I can feel it on my fingers. Can go back in its little test tube, for want of a better expression. I should pull some of this out of the bin because I do like to reuse stuff. If we have any excess, which we do right there, we're going to remove it. Okay, so that looks to be perfect. So little things while we're tidying up. The nuts back in place. That's going nowhere. So little things we have to do and little things we have to address. Sometimes get missed. Nitrile gloves for one. Should always wear these. I always used to. Blimmin' hot down here. Let's turn the thermostat down a little. Anyways, I'm hoping to make these videos better once I get my other camera set up. First one in Canada, pretty much in the same vein as ones I did in England. They are not professional videos. They're not meant to be. But I can certainly do better. So this, give it a little wipe over. And little things we're going to do that sometimes I don't video. So things you don't see. Just wiping this over. Wiping the buttons. These buttons are loose, so tuners are not great on it. They will hold, and they will hold good tune once the strings are on them, but not the best quality tuners in the world. I call them tuners, the machine heads. Tuners, machine heads, what have you. I have some new neck rests coming, by the way. I have a better one. This is just temporary. It's a lovely piece of cork. So, regarding the gears and everything inside, we can't do anything. They are what they are. If you are thinking of being a guitar tech, you need this kit. I love this kit. There's not one better in my opinion. Stumac, magnetic tips. It has all the common tips you need. So they will be, you've got hex keys, you've got imperial and metric. You have little screw, you have 4 screws for common screw threads on guitars. Then you have Phillips and standard or flathead drives. You have a little wire steel brush there, I don't know why I'd use that. But anyway, we are going to get a nice little posi on here. going to go with this one for the screws. Lovely piece of kit, and we are just going to nip these up. And they're not loose, but they're also not tight. Hopefully we don't get any spinners. If we get a spinner, we'll drop a little bit of splinter wood in there. Just tighten these up, just give them a real nip. Now that doesn't really happen. I thought that was supposed to be magnetic. It is magnetic, but not super strong. You've got my dog Ross pottering about in the background there. He's got his little bowl full of snacks. He has to try and get the snacks out. Little treat for him, keeps him occupied. That one is a spinner. So we'll yeet that one out. That one's a spinner also. We're going to eat that one out. We're going to pull those two out. That one's okay. That's a spinner. That one's okay. That one's okay. Is that one okay? Any that spin we're going to eke out. We're not going to do anything major. We are going to grab a little bit of that. See that maple veneer I showed earlier? Look at the depth. We're going to want to go around 9mm. We're just going to drop a piece in, just to give it something to bite to. We could have a look at this one, couldn't we, and see what's inside. See, there's nothing I can do there. They're sealed. I bet they do come apart though. You could grease these if you wanted to. I'll leave them exactly as is. They look pretty good inside there. Nice brass wheel. It's Yamaha. Even Yamaha entry level is good stuff. I've always liked Yamaha. Okay. I should grab my scissors again. Can't find them. There. And I'd have thought this piece would be perfect for two of them. Just split this down the middle. You don't need a lot. Just need something extra for it to bite onto. So we're going to drop. They may be too deep. They are too deep. So I do have some wonderful little pincers to hold and drop these in with, but I'm going to do it with my fingers, with gloves on. That's right, you heard me, you heard it here first. Nearly swore there. I shouldn't swear. And that's why I need those pincers, because actually I can't get that in, that's gone in. So let's go with this one. Just give it something extra to bite to. That's going to want more. That's astonishing. Okay. So these holes have got quite big over the years. Okay, there you go. That should work. Let's do this while the tune is out. Let's do both. We're going to go with more than we need. Okay. Now if that isn't enough bite, we're going to need to reinforce this with glue, and shouldn't have to do that. So again, something I'm not charging for. Just do this, just common courtesy, just, you know, because the guitar needs it. That's tight. That's wonderful. End of the day, we're making this guitar a player. Now, in the future, Chris says he's going to want a pickup installing. I've got a pickup in mind by Artec. That does not have enough wood there to buy. So we're going to go with more. So yes, Artec, they make a lovely pickup for an acoustic. I had one in my, oddly, a Yamaha guitar years ago. Okay, go back in with 3 pieces in here. Quote me, 3. It jumped out, so let's go back in with this. It's going to be awkward, you know it's going to be awkward. Let's go in with the screw. Okay, it's quite tight, but not tight enough. This happens a lot on all the guitars. There you go, we've gone in. Let's just push that in a little bit further. Yeah, older guitars like this. This guitar has been played and used, and if we can revive it, extend its life, even the bit where we've got the bit sinking into the body, we can fix that. It's a humidity thing, that is. We can sort that out. It's just I'm going to charge for it. It's not that the money's not available, it's just, is it worth doing when we can just get it playable? If you're not playing at that end, you know, why spend unnecessary money? So I've already preempted that I'm going to need 2 pieces for this. I'm going to put the screw back in and out. Okay, that screw goes in. It might need 3 pieces of splint in there. So hopefully on this one, I've just shown everything on this one. Like I say, these are not professional videos. Just to cover myself, I say these are not well, they are educational, but they are not meant to go out as instructional videos, because everything I do here is the way I do it. It's the way I've, not necessarily the way I've learnt to do it, but the way I've honed my skills over the years. The way I do it may be different to some other people. Oddly, I've watched all of Dan Irwine's stuff, I've got all his books. I've never read his books because I've never had to. I've skimmed them, but all the videos I've watched of Dan Irwine, the way I do things is pretty much the same way he's always done things. So, you know, my knowledge has been honed over many, many years. But like I say, they're not meant to be instructional videos. You may see them as that. You may say, well, very instructional, detailed and blah, 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 whatever. But my ways, you know, not necessarily the same as everyone else's ways. Let me just try and get this glove back up to spec. I think I will save that, you see. It's good if you can get to use these twice or longer. You never know what you're going to get in your workshop, so always have some gloves handy. I've seen some horrible stuff. This one also is loose, so we're going to do this. If we're going to do everyone we need to do. So like I say, this is a much longer video than it ought to be. I normally just skim through stuff and blah blah blah, but because it's my first Canadian one, I'm going to do the absolute lot. So I want Chris to take this away later, go and enjoy it, which he will very much, I'm sure. Why did I put that glove back on? And then he can decide if he wants to pick up in it or not. I said to him, if you're going to be spending silly money on it, you might as well go and get a new guitar. You can get something for $500–600. He thought he wanted a refret on this. I says, you don't want a refret, but your frets are close. He doesn't want a refret, but I've levelled them and took off as much material as I want to. I've not measured the height of the frets yet. I will go and have a look shortly. We'll do all this. I'm going to keep the camera running. I'm going to keep prattling away, talking my gibberish, or guitarberish. Oh, that's much better. That's beautiful. That's good. Fine. Those two we've done. Perfect. So these are all as tight as they need to be. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I'm a strong guy, so sometimes I can over tighten stuff. That's all wonderful. So tools back, always tools back. Don't leave tools laying around, because things get lost and things get damaged if you're leaving tools about. How have I learnt that? I've learnt it the proper way. I've learnt by making those mistakes, as we all do. Tools away from the guitar. These little bits of wood can be used again. I like to keep, we call them cocktail sticks in England, I don't know what you call them here. Just little pointed sticks, toothpicks, basically. They didn't arrive from England. I keep finding out, when I keep reaching for stuff, I'm thinking, where's that? It didn't arrive from England. I've noticed none of my fluids arrive from England. My stains, my paint, my polishing stuff, wax, whatever. And with that, in those boxes were other stuff that should have got here and didn't. I'm up to about $1,800 of missing stuff at the moment. I've mentioned this. I don't mean to keep going on about it, but this is why I'm behind with everything here, because I keep looking for stuff. Thinking, where's that? It's not here. Where's that? It's not here. Just get all the crap from out of the back of here. A bit of tape residue from when I leveled the frets there. Beautiful. Keep everything nice and clean. Some residue there. I don't know what I put this on. It's going to come back off again in a second. We'll give this a final wipe over a little bit. So we've got the nut in. Frets all done, polished, fingerboard done. Now, okay, getting back to this little kit I've just got from Music Nomad. Should be 2 microfiber cloths in there, and there are. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's the gubbins. That's the kind of thing you need to get all the crap off a guitar. That's like an anti-static type cloth. That's wonderful. We know this guitar is not pristine. A standard microfiber cloth there. So let's see what we have in here. Guitar polish, restores and maintains, shines and protects, silicone and wax free. Nice bottle of that. That's empty. Oh right, the guitar for gloss finishes, complete guitar maintenance in one bottle. Clean, polish, wax and protect in one easy step. Oh, that's, do you pour that into there? Is that a refill? Must be. Because there's nothing in there, it's an empty thing, so that's an empty spray bottle. So what do you put in there? Do you put that in there, or do you put this in there? What's this? This is. It's going to be fretboard oil. Oh, I thought I was getting 3 bottles of stuff. I'm not getting 2 bottles of stuff and a spray bottle. So this is F1 oil, cleans, conditions, protects, petroleum and wax free. Shape bottle, pour a small amount directly onto fretboard or cloth and work into the fretboard to clean and condition the wood. For really dry and dirty fretboards, let the oil soak in for a few minutes before cleaning. Well, being as this is so expensive, I would recommend that you just use some regular, any oil you've got at home, even vegetable oil, just a small amount to get the grime off, wipe it all off, then give it a coat of this. You could try if you want to go with olive oil. You're not going to be using a lot, you're going to be using a little bit. Let's just put a little squirt on there. Grab that piece again and just see if this makes a difference compared to the olive oil. Just going to go down this end with it. So that was a drop, and that's gone over 7 or 8 frets. You know what, we'll metal. You know, in for a penny, in for a pound. There you go. So we're just going to polish this in. I think this bottle is for that stuff in there. You can spray it on your guitar and whatever. I'm going to use some in a minute. So this is all live. I'm not stopping and pausing the video. I don't do that. Like I say, they're not professional. It's just for my records and Fiona's records. I didn't say Fiona, I said for the owner. So there you go, that is all over everywhere. I'm not going to use my new microfiber cloths on this wood. So what am I all about? I'm all about the neck and the frets. If your neck can't be straightened, your frets aren't going to be level. If your frets aren't level, then the guitar is never going to play out. It's going to play like a bag. So this is why I was fret friend in England. Because if your frets weren't right, your guitar isn't ever going to be right. You can bring me a $150 kit guitar with a perfect neck, and I can make that guitar a wall beater. Then again, you can bring me a $5,000 or $10,000 PRS or what, anything. And if the neck is not straight or the frets aren't level, it's going to play like a cow. It's never going to play right. And if the neck's not straight and you can't level the frets, it's never going to play right. So don't let brands, names and this kind of gubbins put you off. I've had two of my guitars, two of my favourite guitars, two of my top 3 guitars are an Epiphone and a Squier, and I'll explain why in a video later, a different video. So I imagine that's for that, that's for that. So we have done. Well, that doesn't even bloody stand up. This bottle doesn't stand up. I think this bottle's cracked. That bottle's cracked and split, look at that. So, piece of veneer. I've already cut some pieces, but they're not quite right, so I'm going to try and cut another piece to the correct width. You are looking for a piece about 3mm. And not tapering off at the end like the others have been. I think this is pretty much perfect. So we are going to look at this one. Seems pretty good. I'm just going to slightly taper at the end. And hopefully that will be just about right. So we are. And that's Nadja, as we sometimes say in England, too long. And that's Nadja is, well, you can guess what it is. You're going to get a lot of English with me, because I'm from England, so you're going to, if you want to know what something means, you're going to ask me, aren't you? So let's whiz this in there. Lay this on the base. Well, that, my friends, looks pretty much perfect. So we shall take the saddle to the lower side and just wedge that in like so, and there you go, and that should be perfect. So that is wonderful. So how you can see there, is it springing back? It may be springing back a little. If it's springing back a little, we're going to have to remove that shim and just ever so slightly, yeah, it's a little bit too wide. Now in England I had fantastic tools for getting this out, but yeah, in Canada a lot of my stuff is still missing. Okay, didn't do very well there. I think that will be fine as it is, but let me try and grab something to pull it out. I know I have. Got something perfect right here. Just need to take a little bit, I don't know, that looks pretty much laid in there to me. Let's give it a go with a feeler gauge and feel how it is. No, that's imperfect, that's fine. That's not springing back. That, my friends, it's wonderful. Okay, maybe the base of this isn't dead straight. Should be. Okay, do this by eye. I'm thinking of going there, like so. That looks wonderful. So, something else I've got to do is move the guitar ever so slightly so it's all in the picture. There you go. It's all in the frame. Super glue. I hate this stuff with a passion. This is not supposed to clag up. Where is the nut? I had the nut not 2 seconds ago, and now I don't know where it is. Makes me look very disorganised. And the stuff I had in my hand I can now not find. Okay, it's easy to say bear with me, but it makes me look very unprofessional. The nuts right there, what am I thinking? It's on the guitar. I'm looking for something that I don't need to look for. So what I like to do is just place a dob there, and just a dob underneath, if the glue will let me. Oh, but look at that. That's it. Don't need any more than that. Some people gunk these things right up. I have no idea why. I'm going to grab something out of the bin just to get rid of the excess. Like I say, this stuff is just horrible. I do like to buy the tubes that there's no mess. Get that back in here. Just off the fumes on that, I can feel it on my fingers. Can go back in its little test tube, for want of a better expression. I should pull some of this out of the bin because I do like to reuse stuff. If we have any excess, which we do right there, we're going to remove it. Okay, so that looks to be perfect. So little things while we're tidying up. The nuts back in place. That's going nowhere. So little things we have to do and little things we have to address. Sometimes get missed. Nitrile gloves for one. Should always wear these. I always used to. Blimmin' hot down here. Let's turn the thermostat down a little. Anyways, I'm hoping to make these videos better once I get my other camera set up. First one in Canada, pretty much in the same vein as ones I did in England. They are not professional videos. They're not meant to be. But I can certainly do better. So this, give it a little wipe over. And little things we're going to do that sometimes I don't video, so things you don't see. Just wiping this over. Wiping the buttons. These buttons are loose, so tuners are not great on it. They will hold, and they will hold good tune once the strings are on them, but not the best quality tuners in the world. I call them tuners, they're machine heads. Tuners, machine heads, what have you. I have some new neck rests coming, by the way. I have a better one. This is just temporary. It's a lovely piece of cork. So, regarding the gears and everything inside, we can't do anything. They are what they are. If you are thinking of being a guitar tech, you need this kit. I love this kit. There's not one better in my opinion. Stumac, magnetic tips. It has all the common tips you need. So they will be, you've got hex keys, you've got imperial and metric. You have little screw, you have 4 screws for common screw threads on guitars. Then you have Phillips and standard or flathead drives. You have a little wire steel brush there, I don't know why I'd use that. But anyway, we are going to get a nice little posi on here. I'm going to go with this one for the screws. Lovely piece of kit, and we are just going to nip these up. And they are not loose, but they're also not tight. Hopefully we don't get any spinners. If we get a spinner, we'll drop a little bit of splinter wood in there. Just tighten these up, just give a real nip. Now that doesn't really happen. I thought that was supposed to be magnetic. It is magnetic, but not super strong. You've got my dog Ross pottering about in the background there. He's got his little bowl full of snacks and he has to try and get the snacks out. Little treat for him, keeps him occupied. That one is a spinner. So we'll yeet that one out. That one's a spinner also. We're going to eke that one out. We're going to pull those two out. That one's okay. That's a spinner. That one's okay. That one's okay. Is that one okay? Any that spin, we're going to eke out. We're not going to do anything major. We are going to grab a little bit of that. See that maple veneer I showed earlier? Look at the depth. We're going to want to go around at 9mm. We're just going to drop a piece in, just to give it something to bite to. We could have a look at this one, couldn't we, and see what's inside. See, there's nothing I can do there. They're sealed. I bet they do come apart though. You could grease these if you wanted to. I'm going to leave them exactly as is. They look pretty good inside there. Nice brass wheel. It's Yamaha. Even Yamaha entry level is good stuff. I've always liked Yamaha. Okay. I should grab my scissors again. Of course I can't find them. There. And I had thought that this piece would be perfect for two of them. Let's just split this down the middle. You don't need a lot, just need something extra for it to bite onto. So we're going to drop, they may be too deep. They are too deep, so I do have some wonderful little pincers to hold and drop these in with, but I'm going to do it with my fingers, with gloves on. That's right, you heard me, you heard it here first. Nearly swore there, I shouldn't swear. And that's why I need those pincers, because I can't get that in, that's gone in. So let's go with this one. Just give it something extra to bite to. That's going to want more. That's astonishing. Okay. So these holes have got quite big over the years. Okay, there you go. That should work. Let's do this while the tune is out. Let's do both. We're going to go with more than we need. Okay. Now if that isn't enough bite, we're going to need to reinforce this with glue, and shouldn't have to do that. So again, something I'm not charging for. Just do this, just common courtesy, just, you know, because the guitar needs it. That's tight. That's wonderful. End of the day, we're making this guitar a player. Now in the future, Chris says he's going to want a pickup installing. I've got a pickup in mind, like Artec. That does not have enough wood there to bite, so we're going to go with more. So yes, Artec, they make a lovely pickup for an acoustic. I had one in my, oddly, a Yamaha guitar years ago. Okay, go back in with There are 3 pieces in here. Quote me, 3. It jumped out, so let's go back in with this. It's going to be awkward, you know it's going to be awkward. Let's go in with the screw. Okay, it's quite tight, but not tight enough. This happens a lot on all the guitars. There you go, we've gone in. Let's just push that in a little bit further. Yeah, older guitars like this. This guitar has been played and used, and if we can revive it, extend its life, even the bit where we've got the bit sinking into the body, we can fix that. It's a humidity thing, that is. We can sort that out. It's just I'm going to charge for it. It's not that the money's not available, it's just, is it worth doing when we can just get it playable? If you're not playing at that end, you know, why spend unnecessary money? So I've already preempted that I'm going to need 2 pieces for this. I'm going to put the screw back in and out. Okay, that screw goes in. It might need 3 pieces of splint in there. So hopefully on this one, I've just shown everything on this one. Like I say, these are not professional videos. Just to cover myself, I say these are not well, they are educational, but they are not meant to go out as instructional videos, because everything I do here is the way I do it. It's the way I've, not necessarily the way I've learnt to do it, but the way I've honed my skills over the years. The way I do it may be different to some other people. Oddly, I've watched all of Dan Irwine stuff, I've got all his books. I've never read his books because I've never had to. I've skimmed them, but all the videos I've watched of Dan Irwine, the way I do things is pretty much the same way he's always done things. So, you know, my knowledge has been honed over many, many years. But like I say, they're not meant to be instructional videos. You may see them as that. You may say, well, very instructional, detailed and blah, 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 whatever. But my ways, you know, not necessarily the same as everyone else's ways. Let me just try and get this glove back up to spec. I think I'll save that, you see. It's good if you get to use these twice or longer. You never know what you're going to get in your workshop, so always have some gloves handy. I've seen some horrible stuff. This one also is loose, so we're going to do this. If we're going to do everyone we need to do. So like I say, this is a much longer video than it ought to be. I don't want to just skim through stuff and blah blah blah, but because it's my first Canadian one, I'm going to do the absolute lot. So I want Chris to take this away later and go and enjoy it, which he will very much, I'm sure. Why did I put that glove back on? And then he can decide if he wants to pick up in it or not. I said to him, if you're going to be spending silly money on it, you might as well go and get a new guitar. You can get something for $500–600. He thought he wanted a refret on this. I says, you don't want a refret, but your frets are close. Doesn't want a refret, but I've levelled them and took off as much material as I want to. I've not measured the height of the frets yet. I will go and have a look shortly. We'll do all this. I'm going to keep the camera running. I'm going to keep prattling away, talking my gibberish, or guitarberish. Oh, that's much better. That's beautiful. That's good. Fine. Those two we've done. Perfect. So these are all as tight as they need to be. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I'm a strong guy, so sometimes I can over tighten stuff. That's all wonderful. So tools back, always tools back. Don't leave tools laying around, because things get lost and things get damaged if you're leaving tools about. How have I learnt that? I've learnt it the proper way. I've learnt by making those mistakes, as we all do. Tools away from the guitar. These little bits of wood can be used again. I like to keep, we call them cocktail sticks in England, I don't know what you call them here, just pointed, little pointed sticks, toothpicks basically. They didn't arrive from England. I keep finding out, when I keep reaching for stuff, I'm thinking, where's that? It didn't arrive from England. I've noticed none of my fluids arrive from England. My stains, my paint, my polishing stuff, wax, whatever. And with that, in those boxes were other stuff that should have got here and didn't. I'm up to about $1,800 of missing stuff at the moment. I have mentioned this. I don't mean to keep going on about it, but this is why I'm behind with everything here, because I keep looking for stuff, thinking, where's that? It's not here. Where's that? It's not here. Just getting all the crap from out of the back of here. A bit of tape residue from when I leveled the frets there. Beautiful. Keep everything nice and clean. There's some residue there. I don't know why I put this glove on. It's going to come back off again in a second. We'll give this a final wipe over a little bit. So we've got the nut in. Frets all done, polished, fingerboard done. Now, okay, getting back to this little kit I've just got from Music Nomad. There should be 2 microfiber cloths in there, and there are. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's the gubbins. That's the kind of thing you need to get all the crap off the guitar. That's like an anti-static type cloth. That's wonderful. We know this guitar is not pristine. A standard microfiber cloth there. So let's see what we have in here. Guitar polish, restores and maintains, shines and protects, silicone and wax free. Nice bottle of that. That's empty. Oh right, the guitar for gloss finishes, complete guitar maintenance in one bottle. Clean, polish, wax and protect in one easy step. Oh, that's, do you pour that into there? Is that a refill? It must be. Because there's nothing in there, it's an empty thing, so that's an empty spray bottle. So what do you put in there? Do you put that in there, or do you put this in there? What's this? This is... It's going to be fretboard oil. Oh, I thought I was getting 3 bottles of stuff. I'm not getting 2 bottles of stuff. And a spray bottle. So this is F1 oil, cleans, conditions, protects, petroleum and wax free. Shape bottle, pour a small amount directly onto fretboard or cloth and work into the fretboard to clean and condition the wood. For really dry and dirty fretboards, let the oil soak in for a few minutes before cleaning. Well, being as this is so expensive, I would recommend that you just use some regular, any oil you've got at home, even vegetable oil, just a small amount, to get the grime off, wipe it all off, then give it a coat of this. You could try if you want to go with olive oil. You're not going to be using a lot. You're going to be using a little bit. Let's just put a little squirt on there. Grab that piece again and just see if this makes a difference compared to the olive oil. Just going to go down this end with it. So that was a drop, and that's gone over 7 or 8 frets. You know what, we'll make all, you know, in for a penny, in for a pound. There you go. So we're just going to polish this in. I think this bottle is for that stuff in there. You can spray it on your guitar and whatever. I'm going to use some in a minute. So this is all live. I'm not stopping and pausing the video. I don't do that. Like I say, they're not professional. just for my records and Fiona's records. I didn't say Fiona, I said for the owner. So there you go, that is all over everywhere. I'm not going to use many microfiber cloths on this wood. So what am I all about? I'm all about the neck and the frets. If your neck can't be straightened, your frets aren't going to be level. If your frets aren't level, then the guitar is never going to play out. It's going to play like a bag. So this is why I was fret friend in England. Because if your frets weren't right, your guitar isn't ever going to be right. You can bring me a $150 kit guitar with a perfect neck and I can make that guitar a wall beater. Then again, you can bring me a $5,000 or $10,000 PRS or whatever, anything. And if the neck is not straight or the frets aren't level, it's going to play like a cow. It's never going to play right. And if the neck's not straight and you can't level the frets, it's never going to play right. So don't let brands, names and this kind of gubbins put you off. I've had two of my guitars, two of my favourite guitars, two of my top 3 guitars are an Epiphone and a Squier, and I'll explain why in a video later, a different video. So I imagine that's for that, that's for that. So we have done. Well, that doesn't even bloody stand up. This bottle doesn't stand up, I think this bottle's cracked. Well, that bottle's cracked and split, look at that. There you go, you've seen it on video, that's going back. Right, I'm going to let Amazon know. Look at that, it's all split, it's bollocksed. And that's swearing, I thought so. That's not good, is it? Right, you've seen it here first. I'll go and put a complaint in, tell him I might even end up getting 2 lots of this extra. But I'll say that's fucked. Okay, I'm going to stop the video here because I need to cut that bit off because I didn't want that word on there. So yeah, so that is knackered. It's not good at all. That is broken. So I'll let them know. Maybe they can send me that. I wonder why I didn't stand up. That's great. The box came up all smashed up at the bottom. Look at it. Oh, there's a leak in there. Look, something's gone wrong with that. So I'll let them know. Anyway, this stuff. The cleaner. I'm going to put a drop on there, just a drop. Because I think this is supposed to go in a spray bottle. That doesn't work. Sealed, that's why. Oh, it's this stuff like Canuba oil. Okay, that doesn't go in the spray. Right, I'm going to do some reading, guys. We're going to get this guitar finished. I'm not bothered about this at the moment. I'll sort Amazon out a little bit later. I'm going to crack on, get this guitar done. We're going to put that completely out of the way. We'll sort that out a little bit later. We're going to get some strings on and we're going to get this guitar finished, I think. So bear with me. I'll get the strings on and I'll come back to you and we're going to cut this knot. The strings I've chosen for this project are Ernie Ball Everlast. They're coated, not used them before. They cost $20. They are from Amazon. I've got Amazon Prime, so postage was nothing. Never used them. I'm sure they are fine. My strings of choice have always been DR Dragon Skin. I've been using them for nearly 10 years, I'd imagine. You can't seem to get them over here. I don't know why that is. So I didn't get them in the States. I've struggled getting. You're supposed to get 2 sets for, was it 14 English pounds, 15 English pounds, which is about $30. Now one thing I do, by the way, is I line all the holes up all that way when I'm stringing a guitar, and I love winds around posts. Now when I come to the E string, just 2 winds is going to be enough. Probably going to get a little bit more out of that, so I'm just going to bang that on there. No, I don't have my string winder here either. Again, something else on order. This is going to be more than 2 winds, and I've got to do it by hand, so it's going to be painstakingly long, especially for me. I've probably got too many winds in there, but let's see how we go. I'm not afraid of pulling winds around a peg. Yeah, I've got too many around there, so let's undo what we've just done. Okay, let's pull this through another that much. Go around there. If you don't mind. Let's see where we are there. I'm not bothered about underlap, overlap. I don't do that, gubbins. I'll just turn it against itself and see where we are. So I'm going to be cutting the nut slots today. I'm going to show you a little trick because I need a 20 and we don't have a 20, we have a 16 and a 24, and I'm going to show you how to more or less make it good for the 20 string. So this is a 50. That actually looks pretty much spot on. Quite happy with that. So what we're going to do with this is we've got a good 3 or 4 winds around there. We've got 2.5, that's perfect. Nip that out of the way. We do have a bin down it. I like to wrap these up together or cut them in half before I bin them. So the alignment of this is spot on, by the way. The action above that fret is so high. So I'm going to just drop where that is, and I'm going to see the action at the 12th fret. I'm very, very happy with where that is at the 12th fret. So that shim has turned out to be perfect. So I'm going to come back in a moment. We're going to measure the height of these frets. I'm going to let you know what they are when I come back. I'm going to get the strings on. I'm going to come back and measure some of these frets, let you know how much height is on there, because I wouldn't like to go any lower than we are. So we're going to get a good few years left out of this. I'm going to get the strings on, and I will come back and give you that information and give you an update. So just back from my chiropractor's appointment. The stuff I mentioned earlier from Music Nomad, that broken bottle, it was supposed to be full of fluid. So that's going back. I've already sorted that out. So I'm going to show you, we are going to measure the height of these frets. And how we do that is we've got this gadget here from Solo Guitars. I did have a StewMac one of these. It's got a notch there so I can measure frets. It's also got a notch there so I can measure fret wire. But what we do with this is we set this here, we set it on a flat piece and set it down to 0. When we've done that, we zero it out. We hit 0, then we just place it over a fret, place that notch over, press down, and it comes up and it tells us how many millimeters we have left on that fret, and it's 0.89 millimeters, so nearly 0.9 millimeters. So we could have got a little bit more of a dress out of that if we'd have wanted to, but not that we're going to. So again, we're going to measure one a little bit further down. We're going to go here, we're going to zero out, 0, and we're going to measure this one here, and we're going to go, and this is giving a measurement of 0.88 millimeters. What does that mean? That means when I leveled these frets, I've leveled them all to the same height within 1/100th of a millimeter. I would say that's pretty good going myself. So let's go back and measure another one right up this end, see where we are. I need to level that there, get that level, zero out, and I'm going to hit this one at this end. In fact, I'm going to hit 15 because that's one of the last ones we leveled. And we have 0.68 millimeters. Is that short? Let's measure that one again. Let's go again with that one. 0. These are very low at this end, I did say. Let's go with 14. 0.78. So as we get further along the neck, they are going lower. So I think once we get to 14, 15, which is what I wanted, it becomes unplayable down there because it does dip in a little bit. Well, we're not bothered about that. That's absolutely fine. So, off. That's good. Great piece of kit, this. Fantastic tool. So my StewMac one never arrived from England. Like I say, I'm up to about $1,800 worth of tools not arriving now. Everything was insured up to $25,000. I'm going to talk to my shipping company in England and say, look, this happened when the stuff arrived in Canada. I signed for it as delivered, but unchecked. Didn't even check the amount of boxes. The reason being, I'm going to have it on video right now. The guy that came was 76 years old. He was on his own in a GMC truck. He was supposed to come with a companion, and they were both supposed to unpack everything and take away all the packaging. This guy could hardly walk. So I thought, well, something else. I says, look, we'll undo it. So my father-in-law and myself, now I'm 60, my father-in-law's older than me. We unpacked the lot. and we just signed it. I signed it and I signed unchecked and I let him go on his way. It's only after 2-3 months I realised stuff's missing, so I'm going to put a claim in. But anyway, back to this guitar. Good afternoon guys, we are going to cut the nut slots today. I'm doing it the old fashioned way. I'm going to measure the height of these the strings above the first fret with a feeler gauge, and this one looks way high, so these nut slots all want cut in, but I want to make sure I don't bring it down too low over the 12th fret, otherwise we're going to get fret buzz. So it is possible I will need another shim under that bridge, or under that saddle should I say. I think this one here is going to be, I think it's quite high. It's about 0.7 gap. That's the gap from the top of the first fret quite as bad as that. It's going to be at least 0.5. I'd like that down to be 0.3. I work in millimetres here. Being English, we are metric in England. I don't know what you do here in Canada. Are you metric or imperial? Metric works for me. So you may learn some new things here. I do have a fantastic new tool to measure the exact height above this. So it's about 0.6 over, so we are very high over the first fret. So I am going to grab, I want to be about 0.3 there to start with. That's 0.3 of a millimetre. I have no idea what it is in inches. I can tell you in a second, because I have a fantastic tool from Music Nomad that tells me all these things. So if I go and have a look and see what 0.3 millimeters is here, well, it goes down to 0.5. 0.5 is 0.02 of an inch apparently. Is that right? I don't know. Is there a way to measure it on here? Again, I don't know. There's a thing there, but no, it's just not. No point. Just no point with that. Listen, I want it down to 0.3. So what I'm going to do is we have to match the strings with the files. Now these files on my Hosco set, I need to go and buy another one. That's my Hosco set of files. I got the set of 11 here. There's one in there that I don't have. I'm going to have to fanny about and make one up, or go slightly wider than I need to. Now that is not a problem. When I go in here for the guitar string packet and find it, I'll know exactly what string gauge I need, or what gauge of file I need. So it is it's a 1050 set, one I've never used before. I know this one's a 50, so I do have a 50 file knocking about. 0.05 in the inches there. So the great thing about this is it makes a perfect semicircle shape. It is shaped to a semicircle, so we use this file and it's going to be exactly as we want it. So 0.05 of an inch. We're not going to go gung-ho at it. Very sharp files these, they're brilliant. I've had them for years. Best of Japanese craftsmanship. So don't go mental. Go in nice and steady. We're going to get close to where we need to be. So we have a 0.3 in the millimeters here. So we still need to go a little bit more. So we'll keep checking, keep filing, as you do. Nice and even. And slant down on your last couple of strokes. Again, I like to keep it tuned to pitch or thereabouts. Not quite buzzing yet. We're looking for a little buzz. To just start buzzing, I need a piece of cloth to wipe the file. I should always wipe the file. I will be getting some diamond files from Music Nomad in the near future, if and when I make some money. I've spent nearly $2,000 on tools since I've been here, and I bought most of my tools from England. Some of them didn't arrive, so I had to replace some of them. Now then, why do I always say don't go too deep on these slots? Because if you do, you're replacing that nut. and that's time and money. Very good nut this. I believe it's a new bone type affair, so it's going to be a TUSQ Tusk, or one of those ilk. Canadian made. Just starting to buzz. I'm going to check the height above the 12th fret. A little bit higher than I'd like, but we can sort it out in a bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to gradiate down to 0.2, so it's going to be 0.2, 0.22, 0.24, 0.26, 0.28, 0.3 in the millimetres. That will give us a lovely action over the first fret. Not check the height of the 12th fret yet, we can sort that out in a little while. Like I say, I may need to reshim this, but I may just get away with it, so see where we are. Bring this down just a smidgen more. So you can see with this, take your time. Do not remove too much material, because I tell you, you will regret it. Always keep your files clean and they'll stay sharp for years. I've had these files for 5 or 6 years now. And my trusty feeler gauge. And once you've got these to where they need to be, you can more or less do it by eye. You can go and have a look around and think I can just go a little bit lower there. See what you could go down to 0.1 down here, 0.15 at this end if you wanted to, but you don't need to go mental low. Everyone always wants the lowest action possible, then we go and play heavy metal with it. No, silly thing to do. If you're chugging those strings, they're not gonna not buzz. Sometimes you have to compromise. But anyway. Oh, that's close enough to the first fret for me. And just that gentle buzz there, can you hear it? It's exactly where I want to be. So we're going to move on to the next one. We're going to check the height of this one. I know this is above 0.3. So again, get it close to where you want to be. Then you can do it by eye. You can see how much of a gap you've got there, and you can bring it down. You know, just be steady with it. So the next one is going to be a 40. I do happen to have a 40 file, so we're going to put the 50 away. The reason my files stay sharp is I always clean them and I always put them back in their little sheath, like so. I've done this since I bought them. Look after your tools, guys. These are not Stumac, so they're not lifetime guaranteed, but they are brilliant. Japanese engineering. So I bring out the 40. I don't have a 40, I have a 42. Closest I can get. It's not going to make any difference. So 0.042. And this one we're going to pull it across. Now what we're going to do is we're going to slide this string out, and we're going to drop the A string into the E string slot, and we're going to do exactly the same. And we're going to slide in and we're going to have a look, and I already know that's higher than it needs to be, but that's fine. We shall have a little measure. Perfect, already perfect, because it's given us a great buzz there. We're now going to move down to the next feeler gauge, 0.25. I want 0.26-ish on this one. So you see how I'm working this. 0.25, which is right here. We're going to give this one a little measure anyway, see where we are. That's actually not far off, so we are going to pull this string over and pull this string over. We don't need to go a lot on this one. So I need now a 28. I don't have a 28. The nearest I have to a 28 I believe is a 32, so I'm going to have to go with a 32. I'm going to go and purchase a 28 shortly from Stumac, just so I have one. So that one can go over there. So we do have a... Wait, no, I do have a 28. I tell a lie. So we have a 50, a 40 and a 28, which is perfect. 28. I might use this 28 for the 24. So again, don't need to go a long way on that one, so we're just going to basically make that's low enough. that's low enough, that one is, I'll tell you that straight away. Don't go any lower than that. Perfect. So let's try and get it somewhere close to tune or to concert pitch or to standard pitch. We'll go on. I will do all of this in the playing position. Don't go, oh, he's not doing it in the playing position. Don't think that G needs touching, I'll be honest. It looks low enough. So I'm going to take a 0.2 feeler gauge and I'm going to measure these three. That is probably low enough. The B and the E certainly aren't low enough. They do need work. But let's check that G string. I'm going to go with 0.2 and see where we are, because I wouldn't want to go any lower than that. These are looking beautiful. This is going to play so much nicer. So I was going to just do one string and turn the camera off, but I've stayed with it. So 0.2 is fine. I'm going to give it a go with a 0.25. And if I get a buzz on with 0.25, I'm going to leave it. In fact, no, I'm not. I'm just going to widen the slot ever so slightly. Right, we have no buzz at all. Okay, so we are just going to make that slot a little bit deeper, a little bit wider. I'm going to hit it with 28 because I don't have a 24. I think that is as much as I want to go. Oh, that's good. Beautiful, just over. I'm going to move this up a little bit. So the 14 I'm going to hit with the 13 file. So we have done very well there. I can measure these with the digital thing a little bit, but I'm not going to bother today. I'm going to do it all by eye. It's the way I've always done it. Can't get this back in its sheath, look at that. For years I've had these. There you go. That one's in. So that was the last one was a 20. I've hit it with a 28. It'll be okay. I do have a 24. I could have gone with that. So these ones I have in holders. Let's do my holders. The 13, which is there, is in a holder. The 10 is in a holder. I bought a brand new that snap there. So that's going to be a 10. That's a 10. That's a 14. Now I'm just going to check the height of these. I know already by looking at them these are way high. That needs a bit of work. Oh, they're not that high. So they both need a bit of work. Let's hit the 13 first. Let's not go too gung-ho with these. Oh, that is really tight. That is stuck in that. That is stuck in there. That's because it's stuck underneath there. Okay. Just notice that. Let's check this beauty again. See where we are. Oh, there's a bit of height there. I can see it now. Not too much though. You know, we get away with those as they are, but I'm going to move them just slightly. I'm going to bring the beat over to the... That's not going to move out, is it? Doesn't want to move out of the slot, this one. There you go. So I have the 13, and I'm going to ever so slightly, as we go in, I'm going to angle it slightly that way and that way, just to slightly widen it. I'm going to put it back. is a little bit low. Oh, it's beautiful. It's exactly where we need it to be. Just a little bit high, only a gnat's nudger high this one, so we're not going to go mental. I'm going to take the 10, give it a wipe, and ever so gently. And that's it. That's as much as I want to go. I'm going to pop you in there, and I can see by my eyes that's perfect. So let's check for tuning. Everything according to that is in tune. The guitar looks wonderful. I'm miles away from the camera. There you go, that is that guitar done. So give me a minute and we'll wrap up this video. Here we go guys, first one in Canada. It is a Yamaha F310. This is a tobacco sunburst one. Absolutely beautiful. Like all Yamaha, they are made, I believe, are made in Taiwan. It doesn't say in there, but there you go. I've cleaned it up, I've polished it up. So a proper polish everywhere. All the nuts and bolts have been tightened. I've polished it front, back and sides, done all that off camera. So what we've done is we have levelled the frets, we've reprofiled or recrowned the frets, we've polished them. We have changed the shape of the saddle. It was really terrible. I thought I should replace the saddle, really, but I had to work with what I've got. So I've reshaped the saddle. I've shimmed it underneath with some maple veneer I have knocking about. I've recut the nut. Lovely nut. It's a Tusk nut by Graphtec, Canadian. I only use Graphtec nuts, non Graphtec or real bone. But there you go. Look at it. Stunning. It is more or less an entry-level guitar, this. They're not an expensive guitar. I'm not sure if it's a solid top or not. I don't think it is a solid top. I think it's laminate all the way around. But it is. I've had one of these myself, not in this burst though. Beautiful looking thing. Now it's all been polished up and cleaned. It looks wonderful. We have treated the fingerboard with some mineral oil. In fact, I used actually extra virgin olive oil. And there's some of the oil you get from Music Nomad. I can't remember what it's called, but that's the conditioning oil for fingerboards and fretboards. Conditioned the wood here also with the same stuff, so it looks wonderful. It sounds really good for a guitar of this ilk. It is, they say it's entry level, but I think this one punches well above its weight. This is better than an entry level guitar, and I don't think the light in here does the guitar justice. Beautiful looking thing, dreadnought size, I think. Could be a small dreadnought. I love this guitar, it's fantastic. We have put some Ernie Ball whatever strings, Everlast strings on there, coated strings. They should last a good while. Tuners are what they are, pretty good with standard. They don't wobble, they don't come loose. The guitar stays in tune. The nut is nice, the saddle is now nice. The guitar looks just wonderful. So there you go, first one done in Canada. I am Victor, I am the Guitar Medic now. Formerly Fret Friend Guitar Workshop in England. Follow me on YouTube, follow me on Facebook, YouTube, especially YouTube. Please guys, I need you to give me a thumbs up. I need you to leave comments because it helps the algorithm, helps my channel a lot more, because my channel has really dipped down the last few years. For 12,000 followers or subscribers, my channel is not doing anywhere near as well as it ought to. So please guys, if you will, give me a thumbs up. I would love it. Go and see a few of my videos, thumb them up, and people will recommend my videos. Also, if you need any guitar work, I'm based in Metcalfe in Ottawa. Yeah, that's all you need to know. Anything else, you can check me on Facebook. You get my phone number on there, you get my email on there, and there you go. So first one in Canada, it's finished. So until the next time, as always, not as always because it's the first one, but I'll say as always, God bless you, be good to each other, and I will see you in the next one.